Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a wild day on Wall Street. At the highest point of the day, the Nasdaq up over 2%, and then we got some news coming out. Russia has officially attacked a NATO country. Now, we do not know if this was intentional. What it looks like right now is yes, that it is intentional because of the circumstances surrounding what has happened. We're still waiting for more information, but this could possibly derail some of the market rally that we have been seeing. Good thing is it doesn't matter too much for AMC stock. And the most important thing besides that we're going to talk about here in this video is what is going on today with AMC, because you are seeing the cost of borrow rates going absolutely insane, guys. So we're going to look at the option activity, the technicals, talk about this news for the day, look at the Ortex data, the Stocko tracker data, and a key data point in which will come out tomorrow morning, guys. So if that sounds intriguing to you, if you are looking to make some money, grow your knowledge base, or whatever your reasoning is for being here in this video, I recommend that you guys stick around a while. Now, nonetheless, let's talk about it. So first things first, let's talk about what happened today in the markets that completely flipped the markets upside down. Now, in pre-market, 8:30 in the morning, we got PPI data, which came in much better than expected. If you guys don't know what PPI is, it's essentially the producer side of inflation. Typically, just Econ 101. If you're going to raise prices as a business owner, it's usually for one of two reasons. Either employment costs are going up or your production costs are going up. That would be seen as production inflation. And that's big for future inflation readings. Now that the PPI came down, markets are like, hey, maybe producing goods will become less expensive and you won't have to see prices of goods going up as much. So that is what caused the bullish reaction in the markets. Very warranted in my personal opinion. And then just about an hour and a half ago, you had this breaking news coming out, and it says Russian missiles cross into Poland during strike on Ukraine, U.S. official tells AP. A Russian missile barrage on the Ukrainian power grid sent the war spilling over into neighboring countries Tuesday, hitting NATO member Poland and cutting electricity to much of Moldova. Polish media reported that 2 people died Tuesday afternoon after a projectile struck an area where grain was drying in Przewodo, a Polish village near the border with Ukraine. A Moldovan government official reported massive power outages after the strikes knocked out a key power line that supplies the small nation. And I think that is very coincidental, let's just call it that you would have 2 rogue missiles just go rogue out of nowhere, completely miss their landing spots. 2 of them, by the way, not a single one, 2 of them, and it knocked out electricity to much of Moldova. Now, I think the real problem here will be for the markets. If this was intentional, well, that's going to be a very negative thing. If they can dismiss this as not being intentional, well, it might get brushed under the rug. Now, as you guys know, it might help AMC, it might hurt AMC, it might give the overall markets a little bit of a damper to this rally that we have been seeing, but nonetheless, I'm not convinced people want to go to war over 2 missiles that just went rogue and didn't hit their destination. So I wouldn't make a big deal about it as of right now, but something to definitely watch for over the next coming hours and the next day or two. Now, let's talk about what is specifically going on here today with AMC stock, because AMC has been very explosive, up about 10% at the time of recording this video. If we click on the charts, we're breaking out of key levels, guys. It's getting to be very, very bullish. We have found support yesterday at the 50-day moving average, bounced off of that, and we are continuing this rally here today with almost a 10% gainer. So this is very, very positive, and specifically we are above $8 per share at the time of recording this video at 3:41 p.m. here on this sunny, cold, snowy Tuesday afternoon. Baby. So why is that so important? Well, as far as the option activity, and you can look here on the Stocko tracker data, we now have 80 100,000 calls that are currently in the money expiring this Friday, and we have 156,000 calls that are still out of the money. But getting more nitty gritty and actually looking at the option chain here, you could see about 30,000 calls just went into the money at the $8 strike, and a lot of these are not going to be hedged out for, especially the 15,000 in volume for today, at least until the stock gets to $8.40 per share. So if we get that move up higher and we get close to, $8.30, $8.35, that's where you're potentially going to see 1.5 million shares at the very minimum hedged for by the market makers. And the volume has been very low with AMC. Even today at 53 million or 41 million shares that have traded hands. Yesterday was 53 million shares. That's still very, very low relative to the amount of volume that AMC can and likely will see again on a daily basis. And if you're seeing 1.5 million shares, just from the options at one strike that will need to be hedged for, I can only imagine what that'll do for the actual price movement of AMC. So I think that is a very positive thing. That's a very positive development that we broke above $8 per share, likely to close above $8 per share in my personal opinion. On another positive note, if you guys look at the cost to borrow rates, they are going crazy today. We have a cost to borrow minimum at about 16%. We have a cost to borrow max at 358.57% and a cost to borrow average at 285.21%. And I don't really think there's shares available because we know there has been a lot of shorting for a very long amount of time, and at some point the amount of people that are willing to lend out stock is going to get exhausted, and I think we are at those levels. You can even see from the Interactive Brokers short availability data that you're not really seeing a lot of shares. Relatively speaking, there's going to be a couple thousand shares here or there on any stock. When someone says there's no shares at all available, you got to take that with a grain of salt. But when you're talking about a float of 513 million shares and you're talking about 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, 9,000 shares available, and that's it for a day, relatively speaking, there is no shares available. And at some points, there is literally no shares available, and that is what is causing the cost to borrow rates to explode. And what happens when somebody wants to short a stock very bad and they can't get their hands on it? Well, that's where you get the cost to borrow rates that start to spike, like we are seeing with these 200-300, almost 400% cost to borrow rates. And a lot of these short positions are on variable adjustable rate kind of bases. So when you see the availability of shares really start to get locked up, people are not lending out their stock, well, that can put a lot of pressure on the existing short positions that are already on the markets. And I think that is what is happening, and I think that will really, quite honestly, help to fuel a lot of this bullish rally that I expect to continue. So long story short, that is all the information that you guys really need to know as of right now. Like I said, PPI data was very good today, and that is what is causing this bullish reaction in the markets. This Russian news is definitely going to maybe damper some things. We'll have to see what the official consensus is, if this was on purpose, if it wasn't. Odds are, two missiles, that's kind of hard to say. Yeah, there were two missiles that went rogue instead of one. We'll see what happens with that. I will keep you guys updated if anything develops later on today. But tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, you are going to have retail sales month over month for October. We are expecting a 1% gain to retail sales. Actually, if this comes in less than expected, less than that 0.9%, then we might actually get a very strong rally in the markets. That would be more confirmation the Fed would not have to raise rates nearly as much as what some people are forecasting for, guys. So that is pretty much going to be all for this video. That is what you need to know. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.